Hey, you. Yeah, you buckle up, because today we're diving into a story so wild it'll make your head spin. What if Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin teamed up to dig dirt and ditch China's grip on the world? It's not a spy flick, it's the rare earth rumble, and it's realer than you think. Welcome to Story Driven English, where we unravel epic tales like this one full of power plays, global stakes, and a dash of crazy to help you master English without even noticing. Imagine learning killer vocab while Trump negotiates with Putin over rocks that power your phone nuts, right? That's what we do here, and trust me, you won't want to miss a second. So, smash that subscribe button now, join the Story Squad. It's Story Driven English, and let's jump into this dirt dealing saga together. Ready? Let's roll. Rare Earth Rumble, Russia, America, and the strategic dance of dirt. It's April 1st, 2025. And the world's suddenly buzzing with a plot twist no one saw coming. Russia and the United States, those perennial frenemies, are reportedly sitting down to chat about rare earths. Yes, those obscure little elements buried in the ground that make your smartphone hum, your electric car zoom, and your military's high-tech toys go pew-pew. As a proud Republican who's always trusted President Trump to steer the ship right, I can't help but see this as another stroke of genius from the man who knows a good deal when he smells one. Let me break it down for you with a little patriotic pep and a wink at the absurdity of it all. Rare earth 17 quirky chemical elements with names like neodymium and dysprosium aren't just rocks. They're the unsung heroes of modern life, powering everything from the guidance systems on our F-35 jets to the wind turbines that keep the green crowd happy. Problem is, China's been hogging the sandbox for years, controlling 60-70 of mining, 85-90 of processing, and over 90% of the fancy magnets that make the world spin. It's like they've got a monopoly on the Lego bricks of the future, and the rest of us are stuck begging for scraps. With clean energy and tech booming, that chokehold's starting to feel less like a business quirk and more like a national security nightmare. Enter stage right, Trump, the deal-maker extraordinaire, sniffing out a chance to shake things up. Now, you might be scratching your head. Russia and the U.S. teaming up? After Ukraine, sanctions, and all that geopolitical hot sauce. I get it. It sounds like a buddy cop movie where the partners can't stand each other. But late March reports from folks on X and whispers in the wind suggest Moscow and Washington are kicking the tires on joint rare earth projects. Kirill Dmitriev, Russia's economic envoy and a guy who probably knows Putin's coffee order by heart, supposedly confirmed talks are underway. No official handshake yet, but the idea's got legs, and as a Trump fan, I'm here for it. Why? Because President Trump's always been about winning, and this could be a masterstroke. China's dominance is a thorn in America's side. Heck, they could flick a switch and tank our supply of critical tech overnight. Russia, meanwhile, isn't just vodka and snow. It's sitting on some serious rare earth deposits, like the Tomter mine in Siberia, which could churn out 160,000 tons a year if they get it humming. Sure, they've lagged behind China in refining, but that's where American know-how comes in. Trump's all about bringing jobs home and sticking it to Beijing partnering with Russia could diversify our supply, boost our leverage, and maybe even turn a Cold War rival into a begrudging ally. It's pragmatic, it's bold, and it's got that Trump swagger. Picture this. A dusty Siberian outpost meets good old American engineering. Russia's got the raw stuff, think lanthanum and cerium, by the truckload, while we've got the tech to turn it into something useful. Maybe a joint venture where U.S. companies set up shop over there, or we ship some of their ore stateside to process. It's not all rosy. Sanctions are still a buzzkill, and Putin's no choir boy, but Trump's never shied away from a tough negotiation. Remember North Korea? He'd probably say, "Vladimir, let's make a deal so great, they'll write songs about it." In Nashville and Novosibirsk, the backdrop's wild, too. Ukraine's still a mess, and yet here we are, possibly finding common ground over dirt. It's almost poetic to superpowers, tired of slugging it out, deciding to dig together. Instead, experts I've skimmed online reckon Russia could ramp up to 10% of global rare earth supply with the right push. And if America's in the driver's seat, that's a win for freedom-loving folks everywhere. Plus, it's a jab at China's ribs, diversifying. Away from their grip is the kind of strategic flex that'd make any Republican grin. Of course, there's skepticism. Some eggheads say Russia's too broke or too slow to pull this off, and the trust factor's thinner than a dime store dime. Fair point. Teaming up with Moscow's like lending your lawnmower to a neighbor who keeps forgetting to return it. But Trump's got a knack for turning long shots into gold. Look at his peace-through-strength playbook. He'd probably argue this isn't about hugging it out with Russia. It's about outsmarting China and securing America's future. If it flops, we pivot. If it works, we're legends. Meanwhile, the world's not standing still. Australia's got its Linus operation, pumping out rare earths like a champ, and places like Greenland are teasing new finds. But Russia's scale and proximity to the action make it a juicy option. Imagine the headlines. Trump and Putin dig deep for America's edge. It's got a ring to it, doesn't it? A little rough around the edges, sure, but that's how. The best deals start. So here we are, April Fool's Day 2025, and I'm betting this isn't a prank. It's a chance to rewrite the rare earth rulebook with Trump's signature all over it. Is it crazy? Maybe. Is it brilliant? You bet. As a red-blooded Republican, I say, let's roll the dice, because when America wins, the world's a little brighter, and I'd rather dig with Russia than grovel to China any day. Chapter 1, Background of Russia-US Negotiations on Rare Earth. So, here we are, still basking in the glow of April 1st, 2025, and the rare earth saga between Russia and the U.S. is heating up faster than a Texas barbecue in July. Word on the street, or at least on X and a few international news wires, is that The chatter about this unlikely partnership is real, and it's got President Trump's fingerprints all over it. As a card-carrying Republican who'd follow the man into a trade war blindfolded, I'm downright tickled to see him pulling strings in this geopolitical puppet show. Let's dig into the dirt, shall we? The scoop comes straight from Kirill Dmitriev, Russia's smooth-talking economic envoy and the head honcho of the Russian Direct Investment Fund, RDIF. This guy's got a arsome that screams. Ivy League meets Kremlin, Stanford, Harvard, Goldman Sachs, you name it. And now he's spilling the beans. Rare earth metals are an important area for cooperation, he told the pro-Kremlin. Ragsvestia, and of course, we've started discussions on various projects in Russia. Some American companies are already sniffing around, he says, though he's keeping the details tighter than a Moscow winter coat. Meanwhile, the White House? Crickets. Not a peep. And honestly, I love it Trump's playing this like a chess. Grandmaster, keeping the other side guessing while he lines up his next move. Now, let's set the stage, because this isn't happening in a vacuum. The world's a mess, Ukraine's still a war zone. Sanctions are flying thicker than FLIs at a picnic, and Russia and the U.S. have been glaring at each other across the table like two cowboys in a saloon standoff. Yet here comes Trump, the deal whisperer, waltzing in with a plan that's as bold as it is bonkers. Team up with Russia to crack open their rare earth treasure chest. Why? Because China's got the market cornered, and as any good Republican knows, relying on Beijing. For our tech lifeline is about as smart as handing your wallet to a pickpocket. Russia's got the goods, think massive deposits like Tomter in Siberia, and Trump's got the vision to turn that into American leverage. It's classic MAGA, outmaneuver the competition and bring home the bacon. But hold your horses, there's a twist. The timing's eyebrow-raising. These talks kicked off amid broader whispers about Ukraine and potential peace deals, with Trump pushing hard to end that mess faster than you can say. Art of the deal, Kirill's comments dropped just as reports surfaced about U.S.-Russia. Huddles in Saudi Arabia, Saudi Arabia, because apparently that's where superpowers go to hash things out now. Some folks reckon Moscow's hyping this rare earth angle as a shiny carrot to dangle in front of Trump, maybe to soften the sanction sting or sweeten a bigger diplomatic pie. And you know what? I'm fine with that, if Putin's tossing us a bone to get a seat at the table. Trump's the guy to gnaw it down to the marrow and walk away with the whole kennel. Let's not kid ourselves, though this ain't all sunshine and rainbows. The U.S. hasn't confirmed squat, and that silence could mean Trump's keeping his cards close, or just hasn't told the State Department yet. Wouldn't be the first time. Plus, Ukraine's in the mix, with Trump reportedly twisting Kyiv's arm for their own rare earth stash as equalization for our aid. Picture it. Trump's got one hand shaking Putin's, the other patting Zelensky on the back, all while juggling minerals like a circus act. Critics might call it chaos, but I call it multitasking pure Trump brilliance. Back in the day, Trump's team was already eyeballing Russia's natural goodies. Remember those Arctic energy talks? Same vibe. He's got a nose for resources like a hound for a fox, and rare earths are the golden ticket neodymium for wind. Turbines, cerium for lasers, all the stuff that keeps America humming. Russia's sitting on the world's fifth biggest reserves, and if we can crack that open with American grit and tech, it's a win-win. Sure, sanctions are a buzzkill, and trusting Moscow's like lending your truck to a guy with a lead foot, but Trump's never flinched at a challenge. He'd probably say, Vlad, let's make this so huge, they'll name a mineral after me Trumpium. How's that sound? The Ukraine angle ties it all together. If Trump's weaving rare earths into peace talks, it's a double play secure. Our supply, end the war, and stick it to China in one fell swoop. Moscow might be playing up the hype for leverage, but that's just good poker. And Trump, he's the guy who walks out of the casino with everyone else's chips. So yeah, the world's a circus, the stakes are sky high, and the popcorn's still popping. As a Republican, I'm rooting for the ringmaster because when Trump's in the tent, you know the show's gonna be a blockbuster. Chapter 2. America's go welcome back to the greatest show on earth, or under it, really where President Trump's got the U.S. and Russia eyeballing a rare earth bromance that could rewrite the rules of the game. It's still April 1st, 2025, and I'm here, a proud Republican with stars, stripes, and a Trump rally cap, ready to cheer on what might just be the deal of the decade. Why are these two heavyweights stepping into the ring together? Let's unpack the motives, starting with Team USA, because when Trump's calling the shots, you know it's about winning big. First off, America's got a China problem, and no, I'm not talking about who makes the best takeout. Beijing's got the rare earth market locked down tighter than Fort Knox, controlling the lion's share of these 17 magical elements that keep our jets flying, our Teslas zipping, and our iPhones buzzing. That's a national security headache, wrapped in a supply chain nightmare. One wrong move, say, a trade spat, or a geopolitical tantrum in China could yank the plug, leaving us scrambling for the scraps. As a red-blooded patriot, I say enough's enough, and Trump's clearly on the same page. His top goal, kick that China dependency to the curb and take back control. Partnering with Russia, sanctions and all, isn't just bold, it's a strategic slam dunk to diversify our supply and keep America on top. Russia's not just some random pick either. They're sitting on a gold mine or, well, a rare earth mine. The U.S. Geological Survey pegs their reserves at about 3.8 million tons, making them the world's fifth biggest stash, though Moscow's cheerleaders swear it's way more there. Russian, so of course they're flexing. Point is, it's a juicy prize. Places like Tomter in Siberia could pump out enough neodymium and praseodymium to make China sweat, and that's music to Trump's ears. Why beg Beijing for crumbs when we can tap a rival's treasure chest instead? It's like trading a Monopoly get-out-of-jail-free card for Boardwalk, And Trump's the guy who always lands on the good squares. But wait, there's more. This isn't just about sticking it to China, though that's a bonus any Republican would toast with a cold one. Teaming up with Russia could mean a payday for American businesses, too. Picture this. U.S. mining outfits and tech wizards rolling into Siberia with their hard hats and know-how, setting up joint ventures that turn raw ore into gold figuratively, of course, but maybe literally if Trump negotiates the royalties. Right. Companies like MP Materials or even some scrappy startups could get a piece of the action, bringing jobs back home while we crank out magnets and lasers that scream, made in the USA with a little Russian flair. It's the kind of economic win that'd have Trump grinning ear to ear, probably tweeting, "Best deal ever. Folks, Russia's got the dirt. We've got the smarts." Sure, the haters will cry foul. Russia? Really? After Ukraine and all? That? Yeah, it's a gamble about as risky as lending your buddy your pickup truck when he's got a lead foot and a vodka habit. But Trump's never been one to play it safe, and that's why we love him. This isn't about hugging it out with Putin. It's about outsmarting the competition. China's dominance is a chokehold on our future defense. Tech, clean energy. You name it, and Russia's the wild card that could break it. The USGS says global rare earth demand's spiking, with electric vehicles alone gobbling up thousands of tons a year. Trump knows we can't sit on our hands while Beijing holds. The keys and Russia's reserves are a lifeline we'd be nuts to ignore. Think of it like a classic Trump Tower move. Build something big, flashy, and unexpected, right where everyone least expects it. He's already got the Ukraine peace talks simmering. Why not toss rare earths into the pot and cook up a deal that solves two problems at once? Secure our supply, boost our economy, and maybe even give Putin a reason to play nice for a change. It's not all smooth sailing. Sanctions are a thorn, and trust's in short supply. But if anyone can pull it off, it's the guy who turned a reality show into a presidency. Vladimir, he'd probably say, "Let's make this so huge. They'll name a mine after me Trump Mountain." Sounds tremendous, right? So here we are, watching the master dealmaker at work. America's motives are crystal clear. Ditch China, grab Russia's goodies, and turn a geopolitical curveball into an economic home run. As a Republican, I'm all in because when Trump's swinging for the fences, you don't bet against him. Next stop, figuring out if Russia's just as jazzed about this dance. Spoiler alert, they've got their own reasons, and I bet they're just as spicy. Chapter 3, Russia's goal. Right, folks, we've covered why Trump's got America eyeballing Russia's rare earth stash like it's the last slice of apple pie at a 4th of July picnic. Now, let's flip the script and peek behind the Kremlin curtain. It's still April 1st, 2025, and as a Republican who trusts President Trump to negotiate with a grizzly bear and win, I'm loving this wild ride. Russia's got its own playbook, and spoiler alert, it's less about hugging Uncle Sam and more about stacking their chips. Let's break down why Putin's crew is rolling up their sleeves for this rare earth tango. First up, Russia's got the goods, but not the gear. They're sitting on a mountain of rare earths, fifth biggest reserves globally at 3.8 million tons per the USGS, though Putin's posse swears it's more like a gazillion Russian math. Am I right? Problem is, their mining game's stuck. In the Soviet era, think rusty shovels and wishful thinking. They need cash and tech to turn those deposits into dollars, and who better to call than the land of innovation and deep pockets? Trump's America could swoop in with know-how and greenbacks, juicing up spots like Tomter in Siberia to pump out praseodymium like it's vodka at a wedding. For Russia, it's a no-brainer. Trade some dirt for a glow-up and watch the profits. Roll in, but it's not just about the Benjamins or the rubles, I suppose. Moscow's got a sanction-sized chip on its shoulder, courtesy of the West's punishment for the Ukraine dust-up. Teaming up with the U.S. on something as juicy as rare earths could be their ticket to a diplomatic thaw. Picture Putin at the negotiating table, smirking through his borscht-stained teeth. You want my neodymium? Maybe ease up on the economic chokehold, eh? It's a strategic Topher cash-in on a hot commodity and wiggle out from under the sanctions boot. As a Trump fan, I say, let's play ball. If it gets us the goods and cools the global heat, that's a win in my book Pragmatism Over Pride. Just how the boss likes it. Then there's the big dream. Russia's got its sights set on crashing the rare earth VIP list by 2030, aiming to elbow China aside and grab a fat slice of the market. They've been talking a big game, state medias. All top producer or bust, but they're short on horsepower. Enter Trump, the deal-making dynamo, with American tech and market muscle to fast-track that ambition. Imagine U.S. engineers tweaking Russian refineries while Putin toasts to Mother Russia's comeback. It's a long shot, sure, but with Trump's knack for turning underdogs into champs, I wouldn't bet against it. He'd probably say, Vlad, let's make you a star second to America, of course, because nobody outshines us. Here's where it gets spicy, though. Russia might be playing a sneaky side game with Ukraine. See, Kyiv's got its own rare earth stash, smaller, sure, but enough to catch Trump's eye as a bargaining chip in those peace talks. Putin's not thrilled about America cozying up to his neighbor, so he's flexing. Forget Ukraine's pebbles. I've got the real mountain. It's classic Kremlin chess dangle, a bigger prize to kneecap the competition and keep the region under Moscow's thumb. Trump's probably chuckling at the rivalry, thinking, more options, more leverage, keep him coming, boys. As a Republican, I'm all for it. Let Russia and Ukraine slug it out for our favor while we secure the bag. So, Russia's motives are clear as a Siberian snowstorm. Snag investment, dodge sanctions, chase glory, and outshine Ukraine. It's a hustle wrapped in a power play, and I respect the hustle. Trump's the perfect dance partner, bold enough to step in, shrewd enough to come out ahead. Sure, trusting Russia's like lending your snowblower to a guy who borrows your Wi-Fi, But this isn't about trust. It's about mutual gain. Putin wants a lifeline. Trump wants a lifeline breaker from China. Together, they might just turn a pile of dirt into a geopolitical jackpot. Next up, we'll see how these goals mesh or clash. For now, I'm popping the popcorn and rooting for Trump to work his magic. Because when America's in the driver's seat, even a Russian detour can lead to the promised land. Chapter 4, The Geopolitical Chessboard, Navigating the Ukraine Conflict and its impact on negotiations. It's still April 1st, 2025, and the rare Earth roller coasters hitting some serious twists. Think geopolitical loop-de-loops with Trump at the controls and Putin riding shotgun. As a Republican who'd cheer the man on if he arm wrestled a bear and won, I'm hooked on this saga. We've got America and Russia eyeing a rare Earth tag team, but the Ukraine mess and a global audience of skeptics are tossing wrenches into the works. Let's hop on the chessboard and see how this game's playing out, because when Trump's moving the pieces, it's always a wild ride. Here's the rub. Russia and the U.S. aren't exactly exchanging friendship bracelets. Ukraine's a blazing hotspot, and the West's sanctions on Moscow are thicker than a Siberian blizzard. Those penalties don't just sting, they're a legal and financial barbed wire fence around big U.S.-Russia projects, including anything involving pickaxes and rare earths. American companies can't just waltz into Siberia with a checkbook. Lawyers would have a field day, and the Treasury Department's not handing out hall passes. But here's where Trump shines. The guy's a transactional genius. His foreign policy's less cumbia and more. Let's make a deal. He's probably pacing the Oval Office, barking, sanctions. We'll figure it out, get me a loophole and a Sharpie. Speed's his superpower, and if anyone can bulldoze through red tape to snag this prize, it's him. Now, Ukraine's watching this unfold like a nervous kid at a talent show, clutching its own mineral stash and hoping America doesn't ditch them for the cooler Russian act. Kyiv's got rare earths too, not as massive as Russia's, but enough to flirt with Trump's team for a deal of their own. Late 2024 chatter on X had U.S. envoys poking around Ukraine's deposits as part of a thanks for the aid package. So when they hear Trump might cozy up to Putin instead, you can bet Zelensky's sweating bullets, thinking, "Et tu, Donald?" Ukraine's banking on its strategic bromance with us to keep the cash and support flowing, especially for their own mining dreams. A Russia-U.S. pact could leave them out in the cold, and I get it. Nobody likes being the third wheel. But as a Trump fan, I say tough luck, America first, and if Russia's the better bet, we're taking it. Then there's China, the 800-pound panda in the room, clutching its rare earth monopoly like a kid with the last candy bar. Beijing's got eyes on this, trust me. They're not thrilled. They've spent years cornering over 60% of mining and 90% of magnet making, turning neodymium into their geopolitical trump card. A U.S.-Russia hookup could chip away at that throne, and they know it. Picture Xi Jinping sipping tea, muttering, "First they tariff me, Now they're digging with Putin. It's not just about market share rare earths or power, and any shift here could tilt the global scales. Trump's probably grinning at the thought nothing says checkmate, like tweaking China's nose while securing our future. The Ukraine tangle's the real kicker, though. It's the elephant, or maybe the bear in the room, stomping all over this deal's blueprints. Sanctions tie our hands, and Kyiv's tugging at our heartstrings, or at least our wallet. Trump's approach could go either way. Fast-track a Russia pact and risk a Ukrainian tantrum, or juggle both and keep everyone guessing. I'd bet on the latter. He's got a knack for playing all sides till the pot's boiling over. Then, swooping in with a deal nobody saw coming. Vladimir, he might say, let's dig deep. And Zelensky, your next plenty of Trump to go around. It's chaotic, sure, but chaos is where he thrives. China's not the only one watching. Everyone's got binoculars on this. If Trump pulls it off, it's a masterstroke. Rare earths in the bag, Russia on a leash, and China on notice. If it flops, well, he'll pivot faster than a NASCAR champ. As a Republican, I'm all in sanctions, be darned. Ukraine's whining aside. Trump's steering this ship through stormy seas, and I'd rather ride the waves with him than sit on the shore with the doubters. Next up, how do we make this work without tripping over the geopolitical tripwires? Grab your popcorn, this board's about to get messier. Chapter 5. Russian Rare Earth Reserves, Production and Market Share. It's April 1st, 2025, and we're knee-deep in the rare earth rumble, with Trump steering the U.S. toward a deal that's got more twists than a country road. As a Republican who trusts the man to turn a lemonade stand into a Fortune 500, I'm all ears for how this stacks up Russia's dirt, America's grit, and China's stranglehold. Time to break out the scorecard and see who's got what in this global treasure hunt. Spoiler, Trump's got his eyes on the prize, and I'm betting he's about to shuffle the deck. Let's start with Russia, the wild card with a chip on its shoulder and a shovel in hand. Their rare earth stash? It's a numbers game with more drama than a soap opera. The U.S. Geological Survey USGS pegs it at 3.8 million tons, fifth biggest globally, but Moscow's shouting from the rooftops that it's closer to 28.5 million tons, maybe more if you believe their hype machine. Take the Tomdr mine in Yakutia. It's loaded with high-grade ore that'd make a miner drool, and the Kola Peninsula's teasing neodymium and praseodymium like buried treasure. Problem is, nobody's sure who's right, us or the Kremlin's cheerleaders, and that's a puzzle Trump's team will need to solve before we sign any checks. Still, even if it's half of Russia's brag, it's a haul worth chasing production-wise. Though, Russia's barely scraping the barrel, less than 1% of the global tally. Their Soviet-era glory days are a memory, with big plants now scattered across places like Kazakhstan. The Solikamsk magnesium plant, run by state giant Rosatom, is their lone warrior, churning out a trickle of finished metals. They've got the rocks, but not the rockets. Tech and cash are in short supply. That's where Trump's America could swoop in like a capitalist cavalry, turning their dirt into dollars. Glad, he'd probably say, "You've got the stash. We've got the smarts. Let's make it rain rare earths." Now, over to the good old USA land of the free and home of the scrappy. The USGS says we've got 1.8 minus 1.9 million tons in the ground, modest but mighty. Wyoming's Halleck Creek made waves with a 7.5 million ton oxide estimate. Ignore the early 230 for billion ton hype. That was a tall tale, but California's Mountain Pass, run by MP Materials, is our star player. It's the only active rare earth mine on U.S. soil, and we're ramping up fast. In 2024, we hit 45,000 tons of oxide in concentrate 12 of the world's haul last year. Add in new refining plants and magnet-making dreams, and we're cooking with gas. But here's the catch. We still guzzle more than we produce, importing chunks of the fancy stuff from, you guessed it, China. Trump's not having it, and neither am I. Russia's a lifeline to bridge that gap, and he's the guy to reel it in. Then there's China, the Goliath of this tale, looming over the board with a smirk. They've got 44 million tons of oxide reserves, biggest in the world, no contest. In 2024, they mined 270,000 tons, snagging 69 minus 70 of global production, like it's a casual Tuesday. Refining, they own it. Magnets, over 90% of the planet's supply since 2019. From pit to product, China's got the rare earth game locked down tighter than a vault. It's why Trump's itching to shake things up. Beijing's dominance isn't just a market quirk. It's a chokehold on our future. Defense, tech, clean energy, they've got us by the short hairs. And as a Republican, I say it's high time we broke free.so. Let's tally it up. Russia's got potential out the wazoo, but can't get it out of the ground. America's punching above its weight and growing, but we're still lean on reserves and hooked on imports. China's the kingpin, sitting pretty with the muscle and the means. Trump's genius here is seeing the play. Russia's a sleeping giant. We can wake up, cutting China's lead while boosting our own game. Sure, Russia's numbers are fuzzy. Us says one thing, Putin says another, but even the low end's a gold mine if we crack it open with American tech. Folks, he'd probably boast, we're turning Siberia into the next Silicon Valley, except with more snow and better deals. The chessboard's set, and Trump's moving pawns. Russia's a gamble, but it's got more upside than a Wyoming ridge. America's on the rise, but we need a partner to leapfrog China's shadow. Beijing's watching, probably sweating a little, and they should be. This isn't just about dirt. It's about power, and Trump's playing to win. Next up, can we dodge the sanctions and Ukraine curveballs to make this real? I'm betting yes, because when Trump's in the game, the odds don't stand a chance. Chapter 6, Us Rare Earth Reserves, Production and Market Share. It's still April 1st, 2025, and the rare earth rumbles taking a detour from the mines into the wild world of big picture economics. As a Republican who'd follow President Trump into a negotiation with a tornado and still bet on him coming out on top, I'm pumped to see where this road leads. We've got Russia and the U.S. eyeing a dirt deal that could shake China's throne, but Putin's tossing out a bigger bait. Why stop at rare earths when we could go full buddy cop movie and team up on everything from aluminum to Arctic icebreakers? Trump's the deal maker supreme, so let's peek at this buffet of possibilities and the potholes along the way right now. U.S.-Russia economic TIs are thinner than a dime store dime. Even before Ukraine turned into a geopolitical soap opera, our trade was a measly $3.5 billion in 2024 chump change compared to the EU's haul. It's mostly been energy swaps, some metal trades, and a sprinkle of IT daydreams. Point is, we're not exactly BFFs swapping billions, but rare earths could be the golden ticket to something juicier, and Trump's got the nose for it. Picture him leaning across the table. Vlad, let's start with the dirt and build an empire tremendous, the best, believe me. When he smells a win, he doesn't stop at appetizers, he goes for the whole menu. So, what's on the table? Putin's pitching joint rare earth digs, think Tomter with American bulldozers and maybe even a peek at new territories read. Ukraine's occupied zones, though that's a hot potato even Trump might dodge. Too messy, too dicey, and I'd bet he'd say, bad optics, Vlad, let's keep it clean. Then there's aluminum Russia's got heaps, and Putin's dangling it like a shiny lure, hinting he'd flood our market if Trump axes those 2023 tariffs. Krasnoyarsk's hydropower dreams are next, with a $15 billion price tag that's got investors drooling. Imagine U.S. firms powering up Siberia's rivers. And don't sleep on the Arctic energy projects up there could thaw old ExxonMobil wounds from sanction days. But with Trump's magic touch, who knows? He'd probably brag, we'll drill through ice and sanctions, nobody does it better. Russia's playing a long game here. Rare earths might just be the door they're kicking open to drag us into a broader economic bear hug. Aluminum, hydropower, Arctic oil, it's a wish list that screams, help us help you. Sanctions have them in a chokehold, and they're betting a fat economic carrot might loosen the grip. As a Trump fan, I'm all for it. Pragmatism's the name of the game. If we get rare earths plus a side of cheap aluminum and a stake in Siberia's juice, that's a deal worth toasting. Vladimir, Trump might quip, you bring the resources, I'll bring the jobs. America wins. You win, everybody's happy. But let's not kid ourselves, this ain't a picnic. Sanctions are the big ugly wall between us, courtesy of Ukraine's chaos. American companies can't just waltz in without tripping over legal barbed wire and Putin's new territories. Pitch only muddies the water. Trust? It's scarcer than a snowball in Miami. Russia's business scene is a roller coaster, shaky contracts, asset grabs, and an economy wobbling for more bills. Investors might peak, but they're not diving in blind. And Ukraine's still the elephant stomping around, spooking anyone with a checkbook. Trump's a wizard, But even he's got to dodge these landmines. Still, I'm betting on the boss. He's got that deal-making voodoo, remember North Korea. And if anyone can turn a sanctions-soaked mess into a gold mine, it's him. Rare earths could be the spark, with aluminum and Arctic gigs as the fireworks. China's watching, sweating. As we rewrite the script, and Ukraine's grumbling, but Trump's got eyes on the prize. American strength, jobs, and a middle finger to Beijing. Folks, he'd say, we're building something huge. Russia's got the stuff. We've got the swagger, and it's gonna be beautiful. The road's bumpy, sanctions, mistrust, and a war next door, but Trump thrives on chaos. This could be more than dirt. It could be a reset that reshapes the game. Next up, can we dodge the potholes and cash the check? I'm grabbing my MAGA hat and rooting for the win, because when Trump's driving, even a Russian detour feels like the fast lane. Chapter 7: China's Rare Earth Reserves, Production and Market Shareware, still rolling through April 1st, 2025. And the rare earth rumbles hitting a high note. Trump's got the U.S. and Russia eyeing a partnership that could flip the global script. As a Republican who'd cheer the man on if he turned a sandbox into a skyscraper, I'm buzzing about what this could mean. Sure, the road's got more potholes than a backwoods highway, but the payoff? Oh, it's juicy. Let's dive into the gold at the end of this rainbow, because when Trump's in the driver's seat, the sky's the limit, and I'm here for every mile of it. First off, this deal's a lifeline to untangle the world from China's rare earth chokehold. Beijing's been the big boss, controlling 70% of mining and 90% of magnets, like they own the periodic table. That's a single point. Failure waiting to happen, one sneeze from a trade war, and we're all scrambling. But picture this: Russia's Tomter cranking out neodymium, America's Mountain Pass humming along, and suddenly the globe's got options. Less begging China for scraps means fewer supply shocks, and maybe, dare I say it, cheaper prices. Stable markets, happy industries, and a little breathing room for everyone from defense contractors to Tesla execs. Trump's probably grinning ear to ear, thinking, I told you diversify, diversify, diversify. Nobody does it better. It's not just about breaking China's grip. It's about beefing up security for the stuff that keeps America ticking. Rare earths aren't just rocks. They're the backbone of our F-35 jets, smartphone guts, and wind turbines that make the green crowd swoon. Right now, we're at Beijing's mercy for those critical bits, and as a red-blooded patriot, that sticks in my craw. A Russia-U.S. team-up flips the switch, new sources, new strength. Imagine Putin shipping ore to U.S. refineries while Trump slaps a Made in America sticker on the output. Vlad, he'd say, you dig, we refine together, we're untouchable. It's a supply chain glow-up that'd make our military brass and tech geeks sleep easier at night. Then there's the tech angle, because this isn't just about moving dirt. It's about making it sing. America's got the know-how. efficient mining, slick refining, even eco-friendly tricks to keep the tree huggers quiet. Russia's got the raw goods Tomter's high-grade haul and Cola's neodymium jackpot. Put M together, and you've got a recipe for a rare earth revolution. Think U.S. engineers tweaking Russian rigs to squeeze out more praseodymium per ton, or joint labs cooking up greener ways to process dysprosium. It's innovation with a capital I, and Trump's the guy to sell it. Folks, he'd boast, we're building the future high-tech, high-impact, and 100% tremendous. The global market's ripe for this shake-up. China's monopolies kept prices twitchy too high when they flex, too low when they flood. More players mean more balance, and that's gold for downstream industries. Picture automakers cranking out EVs without sweating supply hiccups, or defense firms stocking up on radar gear without kissing Beijing's ring. It's competition the way Republicans love at free markets, fair fights, and America leading the charge. Trump's vision. Here is crystal clear. Crack China's stranglehold, secure our edge, and maybe even drop a few bucks off the bill. Best deal ever. He'd tweet, Russia's dirt, America's genius winning. This is the dream fuel keeping me hooked. Diversified supply, stronger security, tech breakthroughs. It's a triple play that could rewrite the rare earth. Rule book. Sure, sanctions and Ukraine are buzzing like FLIs at a picnic, but Trump's dodged bigger wasps. If he pulls this off, it's not just a win for us, it's a win for the world well, except China, but they'll live. Next up, the flip side those pesky challenges. For now, I'm riding high on the potential, because when Trump's swinging, he's swinging for the fences, and I wouldn't bet against him for all the neodymium in Siberia, Chapter 8, beyond. Mining, exploring broader economic cooperation between Russia and the United States where, still cruising through April 1st, 2025, and the rare earth rumbles got me on the edge of my seat. Trump's steering this U.S.-Russia deal like a champ. And as a Republican who'd root for him to outsmart a room full of chess grandmasters, I'm loving the ride. We've drooled over the potential breaking China's grip, beefing up security, and sparking tech breakthroughs. But now it's time to peek under the hood at the gremlins that could stall this engine. Spoiler, it's not all smooth sailing, but with Trump at the wheel, I'd bet on a win every time. First up, the geopolitical quicksand aka the Ukraine mess and the U.S.-Russia grudge match. These two aren't exactly swapping Christmas cards. They're more like neighbors feuding over a fence line that's been on fire since 2022. Sanctions are the big bad wolf here. America's got Russia in a chokehold, and any deal could snap like a twig if tensions spike. One wrong move, say, Putin gets twitchy in Kyiv, or Congress slaps on more penalties and poof, our rare earth dreams could vanish faster than a politician's promises after Election Day. Trump's a deal-making ninja, but even he's got to dodge this buzzsaw. Vlad, he'd probably growl, keep it cool, or we're back to square one, and I don't do square one. Then there's Russia's rusty toolbox. They've got the dirt tomter's a gem. Coal is teasing, but their production's a joke. Barely 1% of the global haul. Their Soviet-era plants are either relics or parked in Kazakhstan, and Solikamsk's the lone warrior limping along under Rosatom's watch, scaling that up to shake the market. It's like asking a kid with a tricycle to win the Tour de France possible. But it'll take time, cash, and a truckload of American elbow grease. Trump's team could juice it with tech and bucks, but it's not an overnight fix. Huge potential, he'd say, but we're not waiting around, let's move fast. Folks, the global sandbox could get messy too. Other rare earth rookies, Australia's Linus, Brazil, India, even our own MP Materials are hustling to chip away at China's crown. A U.S.-backed Russia crashing the party might step on their toes, tanking profits or scaring off investors. Imagine Aussie miners grumbling, "Oi, Yanks, we were here first." Trump's not here to play nice, though competition's the American way. And if Russia's our ace, the others can adapt or eat dust. Free markets, baby, he'd wink. Survival of the fittest, deal with it. And don't forget the green crowd's inevitable tantrum. Mining rare earths isn't exactly a picnic, it's dirty, messy, and Russia's rules are looser than a thrift store belt. Over here, we've got eco-regs tighter than a drum. Over there, it's more. Dump it in the river and call it a day. Scaling up Tomter could mean sludge pits and grumpy environmentalists picketing embassies. Trump's no stranger to brushing off the tree huggers. Jobs over frogs, folks. But it's a PR headache he'll need to spin. Maybe toss in some U.S. green tech to keep it semi-clean. We'll make it tremendous and eco-friendly, he'd boast. Best of both worlds. So, yeah, the challenges are stacked geopolitical landmines, Russia's rickety setup, a crowded market, and eco-woes. It's a gauntlet that'd make lesser leaders flinch, but Trump? He thrives on this stuff. Sanctions could tank it, sure, but he's dodged bigger bullets. Russia's slow start's a slog, but American grit can light the fuse. The global jostling and green gripes? Just noise he'll barrel through with the deal-making swagger. Nobody said it'd be easy. He'd shrug, but I don't do easy, I do winning. This U.S.-Russia gamble's a high-wire act teetering between jackpot and junkyard. The potential's dazzling, but these hurdles are real. Still, I'm all in. Trump's the guy who turns chaos into cash, and I'd bet my last dollar he'll pull this off. Next stop, expert takes or alternate plays. For now, I'm strapped in, cheering for the boss to stick the landing, because when Trump's in the game, the world's just along for the ride. Chapter 9. Potential of Russian-US cooperation. On rare earths for the global market, it's April 1st, 2025. And the rare earth rumbles got the eggheads buzzing. Trump's got the U.S. and Russia flirting with a deal that's either genius or a geopolitical glitter bomb. As a Republican who trusts the man to negotiate with a pack of wolves and come out with a fur coat, I'm all ears for what the so-called experts think. They're split like a log at a lumberjack contest, and I'm here to sift through the chatter, because when Trump's in the ring, I'm betting on the champ. No, matter the odds. The brain trust's got to camps. Some see this as a slick move, pragmatic, bold, a lifeline to dodge China's rare earth monopoly. They're nodding at the urgency. Beijing's got us by the short hairs, and diversifying with Russia's stash is a no-brainer. Smart, they say, unexpected, but smart Trump's playing 4D chess while everyone's stuck on checkers. Others? They're clutching their pearls, skeptical as a cat at a dog show. Russia? Really? They scoff. With Ukraine burning and Putin's track record shakier than a house of cards in a windstorm, they reckon Moscow's just gaming. Us dangling Tomder's treasures to mess with our Ukraine plans or wiggle out of sanctions. The Institute for the Study of War ISWL even piped up, claiming it's a Kremlin plot to kneecap Kyiv's mineral talks with us. Experts bickering it's like Thanksgiving with too many cooks and not enough turkey.me. I'm with the pragmatists, Trumps, sniffing out a win here. Sure, Russia's no angel, but this isn't about trust. It's about treasure. The Carnegie Endowment's got a gloomier take, though they say this deal's dead in the water without Ukraine peace. Security risks. Ownership fights can't happen till the guns go quiet. They muse? Fair point, but Trump's never let a little chaos stop him. Peace, he'd probably snort. I'll make a deal so big, they'll beg for peace. Just to keep up. The man thrives on long shots North Korea, anyone? And I'd bet he's got a trick up his sleeve to dodge the naysayers.so. What's the scorecard on this thing actually working? The hurdles are taller than a Siberian pine, sanctions are a steel wall, trust's thinner than a dime store dime, and our goals don't exactly line up like a country dance. Russia wants cash and a sanctions breather. We want China off our back. It's a tug of war with a shaky rope. But there's glue here, too. America's desperate to diversify for 5,000 tons from Mountain Pass, ain't cutting it, and Russia's drooling for our tech and bucks to crank their 1% global share into something meatier. It's a match made in deal-making heaven. If you squint past the geopolitical fog, the experts say it's a coin toss to many landmines. Sanctions could choke it. Ukraine's a wild card, and Putin's reliability's a roll of the dice. Logistics? Scaling Russia's rust bucket setup takes time we don't have. Plus, the politics Congress might howl louder than a coyote convention if Trump cozying up to Moscow gets too cozy. Carnegie's right about one thing. Long-term vibes need a U.S.-Russia reset, and that's a tall order with Kyiv still smoking. But here's where I part ways with the gloom squad. Trump's the wild card they can't predict. Tough, he'd grin. I eat tough for breakfast, watch me make this huge. I'm not blind, this could crash and burn. If sanctions tighten, or Putin pulls a fast one, we're back to square one. But I'm betting on the boss. He's got the vision, crack China's stranglehold, juice up our supply and turn Russia into a begrudging buddy. The Israel might cry, Ukraine sabotage, but Trump's juggling both keys get minerals, Russia's got more, and he's the guy to play M like a fiddle. Experts, he'd scoff. They said I couldn't win in 16. Look at me now. This deal's a tightrope over a canyon, dicey, daring, and downright thrilling. The eggheads can debate till the cows come home, but Trump's the X factor. Success hinges on dodging sanctions, bridging trust gaps, and outsmarting the skeptics, and if anyone can, it's him. Next up, other ways to skin this cat. For now, I'm all in because when Trump's swinging for the stars, I'm not betting against a home run, Chapter 10, the challenge of Russia's cooperation on rare earths for the global market. It's April 1, 2025, and the rare earth rumbles taking a scenic detour. Trump's got the U.S. flirting with Russia, but he's not putting all his eggs in one Siberian basket. As a Republican who'd cheer the man on if he turned a lemonade stand into a global empire, I'm loving this multi-lane highway he's paving to ditch China's chokehold. Russia's a wild card, sure, but Trump's too smart to bet the farm on one horse. Let's cruise through the other roads America and the world are taking to lock down these magic rocks, because when Trump's in charge, it's all about winning bigly. America's playbook is a beauty, a multi-pronged attack that'd make a general blush. First, we're juicing up our home turf. Mountain Pass in California's humming, pumping out 45,000 tons a year, and Wyoming and active's Halleck Creeks, teasing 7.5 million tons of oxide. Trump's probably itching to slap a Made in the USA sticker on every shovelful. He's cutting red tape faster than a barber on speed, tossing cash at miners, and streamlining permits like it's a reality show deadline. Jobs, folks, he'd crow. We're digging our own gold, tremendous. Meanwhile, the nerds in lab coats are cooking up substitutes, think rare earth free magnets. So we're not begging Beijing for every gizmo. And recycling? We're turning old phones into treasure, clawing back neodymium from e-waste like scrappy junkyard heroes. But Trump's not stopping at our borders, he's rounding up the posse. Canada's got juicy reserves up north, and Europe's pitching in with processing chops. He's got deals cooking with friendly faces, think the Mineral Security Partnership, MSP, and the Quad Critical Minerals Act, roping in allies like Australia and Japan. Teamwork, he'd grin, but I'm the quarterback, best alliances ever. It's a global huddle to keep China on its toes, and as a patriot, I'm all for it. Why lean on one shaky Russian ladder when we can build a fortress with buddies who don't need a sanctions babysitter? The rest of the world's not snoozing. Either they're scrambling like it's Black Friday at the rare earth store. Canada's sitting on a stash that'd make Putin jealous, think 15 million tons in places like Saskatchewan, and they're ready to deal. The EU's playing critical minerals diplomacy, shaking hands and signing checks to lock down supply lines. Australia's tossing cash at Arafura rare earths to crank out Nolan's Project Ore, aiming for 4,400 tons a year by 2026. Japan's in the mix too, recycling like champs and sniffing around Africa for untapped veins, think Madagascar's. Tantalus Project. Everyone's got the same memo. China's monopoly is a ticking time bomb, and it's diversify or die. Trump's fingerprints are all over this. He's the maestro of the multi-front fight. China's had it too good, too long, he'd say, where we're writing the rules America first, but everyone wins. Russia's still in play. Tomder's too tasty to ignore, but he's hedging bets like a Wall Street shark. Domestic digs, allied hookups, recycling tricks, it's a full court press to secure our future. Sure, Russia could turbocharge it with their haul, but if sanctions or Putin's mood swings tank that, Trump's got plan B, C, and he ready to roll. Flexibility, he'd wink. That's how you and biggest brain in the room. This isn't just about dodging China, it's about owning the game. Defense needs praseodymium, EVs crave neodymium, and wind turbines gulp dysprosium. Trump knows we can't be at anyone's mercy. Russia's a bold stroke, but Canada's steady, Australia's scrappy, and our own backyard's buzzing. The world's catching on. Africa's next, with places like Malawi teasing 1.5 million tons, and Trump steering us to the front of the pack. Global leadership, he'd boast. Nobody does it better, believe me. So, while the Russia rumble's got my pulse racing, these alternate lanes are pure Trump genius, diverse, tough, and all American. Next up, wrapping this saga or digging deeper. I'm strapped in, cheering for the boss, because when Trump's building the playbook, the world's just playing catch up. Chapter 11. Expert views and analysis on the meaning and success of negotiation. It's April 1st, 2025. And we've hit the finish line of this rare earth rumble. Trump's got the U.S. and Russia eyeballing a deal that's as bold as it is bonkers. And I've been along for the ride, a Republican cheering the man who'd turn a sandpit into a skyscraper. As we pull into the station, it's time to tally the stakes and peek at the horizon, because when Trump's in the game, it's not just about the now, it's about the next big win. Let's wrap this saga with a bow and a wink, because this dirt dance has been one heck of a show. This whole shebang, Russia and America, teaming up on rare earths, sits in a stew of big bucks and bigger beefs. On one hand, it's a lifeline. Russia's got Tomder's treasures. America's itching to kick China's monopoly to the curb. And together, they could shake up the global game. Less Beijing, more options, prices steady, supplies secure, and a middle finger to Xi's stranglehold. Trump's probably pacing the Oval Office, growling, China's had it too easy time to make America great with some Russian dirt. It's a tantalizing tease. Diversify the chain, juice up competition, and keep our jets flying and Teslas humming. Strategic? You bet huge even. But let's not sugarcoat it, the road's bumpier than a backwoods trail. Russia's got the stash, but not the swagger. Their 1% production's a yawn, and scaling it needs time, tech, and a fat stack of cash. Then there's the geopolitical. Quicksand. Ukraine's a fireball, Sanctions are a brick wall, and trust between us and Moscow's thinner than a diner napkin. Experts say it's a long shot without peace in Kyiv, and they're not wrong. It's like trying to build a house in a hurricane. Trump's a wizard, though. Tough, he'd scoff. I eat tough for breakfast. Watch me make this tremendous. If anyone can dodge the chaos, it's him. But even I'll admit, short-term wins might be a stretch. The global ripple's the real kicker. If this clicks, it's a new player on the board. Russia pumping neodymium, America refining it, and China sweating as its throne wobbles. Prices could chill out, industries could breathe easier, and the rare earth game gets a jolt of competition. Republican heaven right there. But it's not all high fives. Australia's Linus, Canada's miners, even our own MP materials might grumble as Russia steals the spotlight. Hey, we were diversifying first. They'd whine. Trump wouldn't blink. Winners win. Folks step up or step aside. It's a shake-up that could rock the boat, and not everyone's got sea legs. Zooming out, this Russia plays just one arrow in Trump's quiver. Sure, Tomter's tasty, but he's not banking on Putin alone. America's cranking Mountain Pass, recycling e-waste, and cozying up to Canada and the Quad crew. Multi-front, multi-win. He'd grin. Nobody diversifies better. Russia's a bold bet, but the real strategy's a mosaic. Homegrown grit, allied muscle, and a sprinkle of R&D magic to keep us ahead. Ukraine and sanctions will keep. This Dan's tricky piece or a loophole's the golden ticket, but Trump's got eyes on the prize either way. Vlad, he'd say, you're plan A, but I've got the alphabet covered, believe me. So, what's the takeaway? This U.S.-Russia rare earth flings a strategic blockbuster, high stakes, high drama, and a shot at rewriting the rules. It could bust China's grip and flex our muscle, but the hurdles, tech gaps, political fires, and a crowded field mean it's no slam dunk. Short term? Dicey. Long term? Depends on Trump dodging landmines like the deal-making ninja he is. Meantime, we're not sitting pretty. Domestic digs, global pals, and recycling smarts keep us in the fight. Best approach ever. He'd tweet, Russia's a bonus, but America's the champ. This dirt tale's been a wild ride economic. Hunger clashing with geopolitical heartburn. Trump's swinging for the stars, and as a fan, I'm rooting for the home run. The world's watching, China's twitching, and the future's a question mark, but with Trump at the helm, I'd bet on a win, sanctions or not. Keep your eyes peeled, folks, because when he's playing, the game's never over. And that's a wrap until the next deal drops. Well, folks, we've reached the end of this epic rare earth rumble, a roller coaster of dirt, deals, and geopolitical drama starring Trump, Russia, and a world on edge. From the icy mines of Siberia to the Oval Office's deal-making desk, we've unpacked the stakes, the shakes, and the wild what-ifs. Will Trump turn Putin's rocks into America's gold? Can they dodge the sanctions and outsmart China's monopoly? It's a cliffhanger worthy of a blockbuster, and I hope you've enjoyed the ride as much as I have. But here's the best part. This isn't just a story. It's your ticket to mastering English, one twist at a time. That's the magic of story-driven English. We dive into tales that grip you, teach you, and stick with you long after the credits rolled out. So, what's next? I need you to keep this party going. If this saga lit a spark, maybe you're rooting for Trump's swagger. Or just loving the word neodymium, now smash that like button to let me know. Share this with your friends, your family, heck, even your neighbor who's still confused about what rare earths are. Spread the story love. Drop a comment below, tell me your take. Is this deal genius or a geopolitical goof? What's your bet on the ending? I read every single one, and I'd love to hear from you. Oh, and if you're not subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button and ring the bell. Don't miss out on our next adventure. We've got more stories up our sleeve, from global showdowns to hidden histories, all wrapped in English you'll actually remember. Thanks for hanging out with me today. You're the real MVPs of this channel. Let's keep learning, laughing, and exploring together. Until next time, keep your curiosity high and your English sharper. See you in the Storyverse. It's story-driven English.